Congratulations, it's a girl.
Alright, perfect. I don't have to change. Alright, sick.
Let's go.
And I think girl is fan favorite anyway, so. Anyhow, I guess we're ready to go. Well, time starts when I enter Octo Valley, and we'll explain in the first few levels how this works. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Splatoon, like I said multiple times already. This is New Game Plus. As I mentioned in the interview I had, New Game Plus is different from any percent in many different ways. First off, everything we have is maxed out. Guns, bombs, everything. And you'll be seeing that I'm doing these levels in whichever order I want, because all the levels are unlocked. We don't have to unlock them in between each one like you would in any percent or any other category. And not only that, you will be actually seeing World 4, unlike any percent.
Yes, I'd like to add something. So, the routing is actually very flexible for this category, like Kingj said, mostly due to the fact that every time you unlock a level, you can super jump to it on the mini-map, which is the gamepad. The gamepad has a touchscreen, and super jumping to any level, regardless of the distance between those levels, is the exact same. And the two levels that Kingj will be doing in this route are two very annoying cycle-based levels in the mid and late game. This isn't too bad. 13 can be really annoying. Something I'd also like to mention is that the upgrade gun makes moving through all 32 levels of this category a lot more consistent, and there won't be as much shot RNG or variance or issues like that. Nice, pretty good jump there. These wheels can be a bit of a pain. If you die here, the checkpoint is a little bit far away, but nailed it pretty well there.
Yeah, and you saw the wheels are spinning extremely slowly, so if you were to miss this cycle, then I think it loses 12 seconds or so. So
yes,
it's one of the reasons you would do this level first. It's one of the biggest time losses you can make, and it only takes a very small mistake to make a mistake that big that can miss the cycle. So
yeah, and like Hydrus said, this is completely my routing. Everybody has their different routes that they do. You can do these levels in whichever order. The only order that is predetermined, we have to do the final boss last, Octavio. That's a given,
yeah,
just so there's a clear ending point.
Yes, yes, and Octavio is a pretty awesome final boss. Can't wait to see that at the end of the run. Now, we're going to be moving on to 13, and Kingj is going to be taking this a little bit safe, because if you die in this stage, it's possibly even more of a time loss because the checkpoints are extremely spread out. One thing I didn't mention is that Kingj is using a control style known as sticks. 95% of Splatoon speedrunners who play like semi-seriously use motion, which is you tilt the controller. What Kingj is doing is he's using both analog sticks for camera, for like the camera movement and like analog movement. And just know this is pretty uncommon, but this is just his preferential way to play the game.
I'm just gonna throw out that it's uncommon for a reason, but you know what? If it works, it works.
Yeah, it works. It works. All right, that was a pretty good.
Yeah, my run is unvalidated because I run on sticks.
Pretty good cycle at the end.
Yeah.
There. Nice job.
Alright, so I do this next level pretty safe. I'm going to be grabbing an extra armor than you normally would. You normally don't grab armor at all. This wastes about a second, but I'd rather not die.
Yeah, I actually have Kingj's route written on the side here. I need to memorize. So in every single world besides World 1, there is like three different types of levels. A normal level, an Octolane level, and a Octostriker level. This is an Octolane level. You find these enemies called Octolanes, and they kind of look like you, and they have the same gun as you, so if you stand too still, you will die. And you notice you picked up the armor there, which is looking
or if you look at him funny.
Yeah, yeah. You got armor there right at the beginning, only loses like 1 second. Ooh, almost.
Yeah, and that's really good because that guy on the grates is extremely random. If you don't grab the armor, you can do everything right, and they'll still just laser you with their bullets, and it's really unfortunate. So the safety armor doesn't take too much time, and it makes it so that the level's consistent.
Yes, and it can be quite catastrophic. Something we all didn't mention is that at the end of every level, you have to touch the Zapfish to end the level. This is including Octavio, so we just need to get to the Zapfish at the end of every level as fast as possible. Okay.
And for those orb lovers out there, we do have to break open an orb for it. You're welcome.
Taking another safety armor here. This is the Octostriker level, and the main mechanic is that there's this giant blob at the end. It's called an Octostriker. I like to call it a blob though. And when you pop out of the ink, he will see you and fire this giant tornado nuclear strike thing. It's called an ink strike. And you have to stay hidden most of the time. If you stay out of the ink for too long, you will get destroyed. Nice, killed those two enemies there. The reason he picked up the Inkzuka in the middle of the stage is that he's gonna quick kill this boss. Now, normally in the other Octa Striker levels, you can just go around the arena, but there's walls there. So with the Inkzuka, it's a giant bazooka thing. It's a special. Think of like an ultimate in Overwatch. You can quick kill that boss very well if you space the 3 shots, which he did do.
I miss the Inkzuka. That was definitely my favorite special in Splatoon 1, and they just got rid of it with all the other specials.
Bro, I miss burst bombs. Now you're gonna see burst bombs. We're gonna be talking about burst bombs quite a bit. They got rounded to 80% for a reason. They save so much time in this category. It has so many niche little applications. 16 is a pretty long one. 16 is one of the true only true auto scroller sections in the run coming up. You'll be seeing the first instance of fans. Ooh, that was really timed. Surprised you made that.
Oh, I was really close.
Yeah.
But optimal. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it saves.
Also, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go.
I was just going to say, at the end of each level, I was going to mention this before, but I just love how in New Game Plus, the Zapfishes are actually not real Zapfishes, they are little plushies, and
Yeah, it's so cute.
the Inkling will actually pet the plushies after you finish them, so.
Yeah, pin movement is not too complicated in the stage. You're just going up and down, left to right horizontally. Facing these cannon shots can be a bit weird. You want to shoot it just enough to where it goes to the grate, and he's going to get it first try there. Nice. And this is going to take, I think, around 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm not sure. But this could be a great time for donations because there's literally nothing going on. If possible. Fun fact, in the left there, the scroll is actually there. Nice. Oh, I actually take as long as I thought.
Yeah, we can still throw it to some donations because we're just killing these Octolings at finishing level.
All right. We've got one from Monkey Zushi for $25 who said, had to donate during the run for my only my favorite game series ever. Good luck to King J. Mommy! I can't quite do the sound, but I'll try.
That was great. Keep doing that.
Yeah,
And then we've got another one from CPL Griffin who for $15 who says, donating for one of my favorite game series. Can't wait to see a quick Squid Kid.
Awesome. Actually, this is a good time. Do you guys like Woomy or Vimo better? That's like the real question everybody needs to know.
Woomy for sure. 100%.
Woomy, dude. All the way.
I'm more of a Vimo guy.
What?
Now, you're going to be seeing KJ take this next section a little bit safe. There's these giant rotating wheels. I don't know what to call them. Pinwheels. Oh. Ooh, went for the jump. Let's go. That jump can be kind of detrimental. The checkpoint is pretty far spaced back. Fortunately, not use a Seeker there. You're not super comfortable with the sub-weapon switching, which I'll try to explain the Seekers when that is relevant. Because there is 3 different sub-weapons you can't use in this run. You have the Burst Bomb, which is like a giant water balloon. You have a Splat Bomb, which is a giant grenade. And you have the Seeker, which is a little Tamagotchi hamster thing. I don't know what to call it, but it can like target stuff and it can also go up walls.
A Tamagotchi thing? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a bomb chew from Zelda.
Oh, yeah, that's a better analogy. Thank you, Thomas.
There you go.
Got you better, dude.
Yeah, and the 3 sub-weapons, they all have like very specific uses, and in NG Plus you actually use the burst bombs a lot more because they're a little bit better. You have a larger burst radius so you can climb up walls with it faster, and since your gun is upgraded, you're not as reliant on going in straight lines with the Seeker as much as you are normally. So
for super long
burst bombs really reign king in NG Plus.
Yeah. For super long phase though, you definitely still want to use Seekers. They are quite effective and they paint quite a wide trail. With burst bombs, they have the greatest ink efficiency, so you can quite literally throw 4 in this category. It's quite effective. Okay, so 17 is kind of long. We have to kill a bunch of these Octa Snipers to reach the end. Ooh, using a consistent strat there.
Nice.
I almost messed it up, but
there's a jump you can actually take across the gap here. It's pretty hard though.
There you go.
Ooh, barely.
Okay, got over the boxes.
Yeah, barely.
Those two charges there could just ruin your day. If they shoot you while like you're jumping, or if they just like put ink on your feet, then you miss that jump and you die and go all the way back to the start of that checkpoint.
Nice little quick kill strat there where you throw the splat bomb immediately out from spawning in. Ooh, nice. If that guy shot the sponge that Kingj was on, he would lose all of his momentum as soon as he jumped, and he would probably die. So
That happens a lot, so I'm glad that didn't happen that time.
Yeah, there's a setup for kind of distracting the guy, make him shoot the wrong sponge before you jump onto it. But without any of that, he's really inconsistent.
And at the end of the levels, you're going to see me throw a bomb into the barrier. That immediately breaks it. Any bomb works, but burst bomb is the fastest.
yes, all sub-weapons instantly explode the Zapfish, and you'll be seeing that most of the time. You will never run out of ink in this category. You have to just be staying still to run out of ink.
Yeah, I think your ink tank is 3 times the normal ink tank in this category.
Yes,
So
it's quite absurd. Okay, this is the first boss that we're going to be fighting. It's this is unfortunately not returned in Splatoon 2. It's a giant, I don't even know what to call it. Like a slug? I'm not sure. It's called the Octomom.
he's a shark.
Oh, he's a shark. Okay,
Yeah.
wow. But yeah, pretty.
This boss is the only boss that has never been seen in the GDQ before.
Yes, this is actually its first time. Yeah, World 4 is not played 90%.
I forgot about that.
Pretty much all 3 phases, he's just gonna try to eat you, but you have to explode its teeth, or not shoot its teeth, and then you can throw a bomb in its mouth by the end of the phase. It's very easy to die if you don't move out immediately. The teeth have pretty big, like, hitboxes, but luckily in NG Plus it's a lot more simplified, and pretty much destroyed that boss with almost no effort. A decent job.
Yeah, that was a really good boss fight.
Yeah, for sure.
And for future boss fights, there's really not much to talk about. They basically do the same rinse and repeat formula like this one just did. This one just had more to talk about. So we'll most likely, boss fights are going to be the part where donations will take over.
Yeah, even
for the
though,
most part.
yeah, I would say the Splatoon bosses, most of them are pretty unremarkable, I would say, but the final boss is really good.
And it's got some banging music.
Yep.
It's
for
great,
sure.
dude. The music's amazing. I might dance. I don't know.
Okay, this stage, not everything is invisible, but a lot of the platforms you have to go on are invisible, like the ramp coming up here. Kingj is going to throw a secret when he jumps down to hit that robot in a certain cycle so he can hit the wall. That's one instance of the secret being utilized.
Yeah, this is by far the least favorite level of anybody who is learning this game, because it's the first level that you really need to just do over and over again to make sure you know where you're going and you know what to expect. But once you practice it a couple times, it's not that bad. It's not a very inconsistent level.
This level, in my opinion, is really cool to watch more than anything, because you're going to see some leaps and jumps that look like I'm jumping into nowhere and I should die, but I am jumping to a platform later.
Yep, that entire section isn't completely invisible. Gonna take a tiny quarter cut there to skip the walkway. Gets to the launch pad a bit faster. Nice job, Lee.
So right, coming up here, sorry, my bad if I cut you off. This is my favorite part of this level. This is called Fight Skip, at least that's what I call it. You're supposed to fight these enemies that spawn here, but you can just jump past them and climb past the wall, and you can completely skip fighting all of these guys.
Yeah, you don't have to kill actually any of the enemies there. You can just take a very direct route through the invisible platforms, and like kind of Tones mentioned in his GDQ run for 80%, the Shower RNG there can punish you because you don't normally hit the checkpoint at the end there. Well, with New Game Plus, there's pretty much no shot variance. It is very consistent painting across the board.
Oh man, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, because those jumps are fairly precise. You need pretty much your max distance.
Yes.
So if you don't have enough ink on your feet, then you will just not make it. But yeah, like Hydrus said, NG Plus, there's no variance in your. If you shoot your gun, you're gonna have ink on your feet. So.
Overtime's a pretty cool stage. It's called Ink Rail Skyscapes. Cool name. You're gonna be seeing burst bombs a lot here, especially in this first half.
Yeah. Burst bombs are definitely good because they have such a wide radius, especially because they're fully leveled up in New Game Plus, and you'll see this
nice cycle.
especially on this side right here. Yeah, really good cycle there.
back in 2015 when this game was released, one of the developers of the game made a YouTube video. I forgot how we found it, but he made a YouTube video where he speedrun this level, and this is the only level that we knew of that they had known about speedrunning.
Oh, interesting.
Oh wow.
That's really cool, actually, when developers speedrun the game or are aware of the speedrun.
Yeah, we are definitely aware that the developers know about speedrunning, especially since they added in-game time to Splatoon 2.
Yeah. There is IGT for levels in this game, but only in the Amiibo DLC campaign for Squid Amiibo. And only in specific levels, I believe, like 4 levels don't have an IGT. Those are like limited ink stages. Those are pretty cool.
Also, that Inkzuka section went really bad. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. Something I didn't mention is that Kingj threw one burst bomb to cover 2 ink rails there, kind of in the middle of the level. And that's because the burst bombs have such a wide hitbox. They don't do a lot of damage, but they cover ink the fastest over any other method of painting. So,
alright, so this level sucks. There are 2 flutter levels in this game, and they are known as the RNG levels. The flutters, specifically on the last section of this level, can give us a random pattern.
There's also random patterns.
Yeah, here as well. This one is random between 1 of 2, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that
right?
was the bad luck, so you lost about a second, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah, so the last pattern is what matters the most, and it's gonna make or break this level. You can lose upwards of 20 seconds on this.
Yeah,
so.
at the end there is a single enemy that has a key that's required to beat the level, and the single enemy is on a cycle. He's always going to be in the same spot.
But the flutters...
However, the flutters are not going to be in the same spot. So the route that you take to him, you want to do the fastest route, and sometimes you'll end up taking the fastest route, and there's 3 flutters in the way, and you can't get around them.
Yeah, so we'll see how good my luck is. I've been getting pretty good luck in practice, so that means I'm going to get bad luck here.
You're seeing a lot of instances in this run where the Kingj would be picking up keys to unlock cages. This is a pretty common strategy, or not strategy, but mechanic to advance to the next part of the stage.
That is horrible RNG.
Dang.
That was the worst.
That's literally the worst one it could have been.
Yeah, it's the worst RNG, and you also failed the flutter jump, which you...
I think it's better that I failed it, honestly.
Ooh, I don't even know what cycle...
Wait, why is he over there?
What cycle this guy on. Yeah, since he died, it's...
I didn't know that was different. Alright, my bad.
Yeah, fun fact, you can actually see where the key guy is on
Good
this map.
recovery, though.
Yeah, nice recovery. Fun fact,
Yeah,
on the
that's pretty
gamepad,
good.
the flutters are represented by large yellow, or not yellow circles, white circles, and the key guy is a small, tiny dot. So you can technically see where the key guy is before you even enter the maze, which might help some casual players.
That's the first time I ever took a death there intentionally, by the way. As soon as I missed the jump, I was like, maybe it's better that I missed it, like the jump to skip the flutter by going around the corner, because it would have reset the flutters, but I did not know that the key was going to reset and have a different cycle.
This is the World 3 Octastriker level, and it's actually kind of hard to avoid the ink strike here because you're exposed a lot of the time. Kingj will be going for a very optimal strat on the left here. It's called Geyser Jump.
No.
And if he gets it...
Oh, I died too.
Just barely. Oh no. Hey, then you can get the Geyser Jump again.
Well, I respawned over... Wait, where did I spawn?
You're at the start, buddy.
Oh, I thought I was on the other side. Oh, no.
Oh my god. Yeah, so...
It's all falls apart
this
here.
stage...
No, yeah, the Geyser Jump, you missed the checkpoint, so if you miss the jump, then you die and,
Oh, I thought I hit the checkpoint.
This is a
I'm not
multiplayer
going for it
stage
anymore.
called Bluesman Depot, and it is the same... What's the word? Not perpendicular. It's like the same...
Symmetrical.
Yeah, symmetrical. It is symmetrical, so... And Kingj unfortunately kind of played himself there with, you know, where he spawned. And, yeah.
That was just me not paying attention. That's not even my fault. Like, that is my fault. But
Yeah, it was
wasn't even the game.
100% your
Yeah,
fault.
shifted. Kind of... Yeah,
I got your back, bro.
kind of shifting the blame there.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
the jump he was kind of...
Come on,
The jump he was going for is called
Let me pass.
Geyser Jump, and if you can use the momentum from the geyser to boost on the left platform there, and if you get it first try, I'd say it's like 2 seconds over using the right jump. I only know 2 players that go for that, or have one for that. Definitely pretty hard.
And I'm that guy. I go for it.
I also used to go for it, but then I hated myself and just stopped doing it.
So let me explain my thoughts going into this run. By the way, the estimate you're seeing on the screen, that was back when I had a 58-minute time. Since then, I've PB'd a lot, and my PB is now down to a 54-minute time. So I'm just going for all the strats I know, even if they end up like that.
This is a much safer route Kingj is doing to get through the stage. It's Blackbelly Skate Park. All the Octoling stages the maps are multiplayer maps that you would play in online Blackbelly Skate Park. Especially with all those enemies, if you go in that specific route, you won't encounter a lot of spawns that will aggro onto you. This is a pretty cool boss. I don't think... Is this in Splatoon 2? I don't...
What, Blackbelly?
I don't think so.
No, the third boss here.
Oh, no. The only boss that came back in Splatoon 2 is Octocube.
The Octocube.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention, this is the level, Tones, right, where you guys found Rapid Fire Glitch?
Yes. I was doing a run, and I was in this boss in 90%, and I was bored out of my mind. I didn't like the run anyway, and I had all the sub-weapons, and I just started spamming the D-pad for no reason. And I noticed that my gun was just firing insanely fast, and the ending was just faster. I ended up golding the split by 2 seconds. I was like, what just happened there? So I reviewed the tapes, and it turns out that there's a glitch in the game where if you switch your weapons, your gun will fire a bullet regardless of what your cooldown is. So since you're ignoring the cooldown, as long as you are spamming the buttons by switching your sub weapons, then you're going to get a rapid fire. So we use that now on pretty much every single boss, and sometimes in levels to kill enemies faster.
Yes, this is a glitch. They did not clarify. Rapid fire glitch is a glitch exclusively used in 90% in all scrolls. It is only possible with the level 1 through level 4 gun. It is not possible in NG+ because your fire rate is already capped. But pretty cool story. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, so we're heading to World 5 now. World 5 doesn't have a boss fight at the end of it. I typically go around these worlds, complete all of them, and then do the boss in the middle. But because World 5's boss is Octavio, we're gonna wait till the very end to do him.
Yeah, that was kind of a community decision because it felt weird to do the final boss. Like, the final boss is a pretty big chunk of the run. I think it's about 8 minutes of it. Well, it's less than NG+. But it feels weird to do the boss first. And, you know, in Splatoon 2, we ended up not doing it this way because of a different reason. But we decided you can do the levels in any order that you want, but just do Octavio last. That was one restriction we had.
You'll notice Kingj picks up the Inkzuka there towards the beginning of that second section, and that is for a very specific reason that you'll see later in the stage. Burst bombs are very effective for hitting these switches. It will instantly activate them. You don't have to slowly shoot it. Nice blocks there. Dude, yeah, he's gonna pop out his Inkzuka, kill these 3 Octarians, turn around, and then the next 2 Octa Snipers will spawn right behind him. If he has just enough time, he might be able to shoot, and oh, he barely does it, or he barely gets it there. And you can actually hit those 2 switches a lot earlier than intended, and it turns these 2, like, L shapes, like Tetris pieces, I don't know what to call it, but it turns them very fast, and you can go up the level a bit faster.
Alright, so right here I'm using the bubbler to get invincibility underneath the flutter.
More special use. And the flutter spawn when you kill those 3 enemies. Nice, got the key. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good RNG. That's another instance that's like very slight flutter RNG. It's not as bad as the actual flutter levels, but it went well, so. Alright, so this level has a few skips in it. Some pretty tight ones as well.
Yeah, a lot of tight jumps. This is a very sponge-heavy stage. You'll also see a level like this in World 2. Why it's routed late in 90% because burst bombs saved a lot of time in that stage.
Yeah, so right here, Hydrus taught me this, where, actually no, I think Tones did, where you can just throw a bomb to distract those guys and kill them right away.
No, that was Hydrus.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Hydrus, okay.
Yeah, the Octa Stamp's backs are the weak spots, so if you throw a burst bomb, it'll turn them around and you can insta-kill both of them. Burst bombs, if I didn't mention, instantly inflate sponges instead of slowly shooting them. So you'll be seeing that a lot with the sponges in this stage. Nice Inkzuka shots. That's a pretty cool section. Test your aim with the special.
Shouts to balloon jump. Wait, what?
Oh my god, that's happened to me so many times.
I've never seen that. Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah,
I've never seen that happen to me.
Yeah, you forgot to ink the sponge below you.
That balloon is supposed to hit that.
Yeah, there's a very small random chance that the balloon doesn't inflate.
Oh yeah, so
when you hit the balloon.
Yeah, I'd like to go into that. So there is a bug that has existed on all patches of this game. We don't really have a name for it, but there's probably a 5% chance, and it increases more. The chance of it happening is more likely the more you throw a burst bomb. And you throw a burst bomb at an object or a surface, and it has the chance to just completely disappear or phase through that surface.
Oh, no, I know how that works.
Oh, okay.
So, like, on a sponge, if you throw the bomb directly at the corner, specifically on the corner, then it's a dud bomb, and it doesn't do anything. You have to hit it somewhere on an edge or a side.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought you were referring to the bug. I was a bit confused there.
Oh, no, I just meant, like, the balloon didn't blow up that one sponge.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He was talking about, there's one specific instance where it happens. In the second level I did, level 13, there's like a moving platform, and that's always where I see the bug that Hydrus is talking about, where I throw a bomb at the moving platform and it just clips through.
Yeah,
that's in shifting platforms,
yes.
Right?
The main reason why the world record lost, in 80%, lost 8 seconds. You didn't know. This is the second instance of minor RNG in the run. This is the second and final flutter stage that you play, pretty much. And this first phase doesn't really matter too much. It's mostly the last maze, which in my opinion has possibly some of the most variance, because you have to find a key guy.
And not only that, there's going to be an enemy after we get the first key that has the second key.
Yes. Yeah, there's 2 keys, double the trouble.
It's like doing an escape room, but it's not fun.
Nope.
It's not fun, you don't want to be there.
And you don't pay $35.
Yeah.
Kind of. I bought the game, so I don't know. Alright, so that's the first bit done. That was pretty good. Let's see how this goes.
So this guy, the Octa Sniper, he contains the key. He can be anywhere on the map. So right now...
Oh my god, that's horrible placement.
That is one of the worst RNG spots I've actually seen. All the way on the map there.
That is...
Optimally...
Alright, so good RNG, actually bad RNG throughout most of this run.
Yeah, optimally the Octa Sniper will be in the center there. You can just cut a corner through the middle and you can just go straight to the end.
But there's no more RNG for the rest of the run, so you have no more excuses.
Thankfully. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the nice thing about Splatoon 1. The major components of RNG only have a variance of like 10 seconds in each of those levels. So it's overall a pretty fun run to get into.
This level's pretty cool. This is based off of Salt Spray Rig. And this one, if you didn't know that these skips existed in multiplayer, well, enjoy this. I use this a lot in multiplayer to get away from my enemies. Just doing these jumps and then climbing up this, these pipes
the intended route is you have to go around those barriers. But you can kind of just jump down the pipes and go right to the middle. And the Zapfish is located in a little UFO at the top there. You can access the geyser. And that's the end. Again, really short stage, World 5 Octoling level destroyed.
And Pat's the Zapfish. I love that. Alright, so this is a very cycle-heavy level now. We're heading on to Pinwheel. In my opinion, worst level in the game.
Yeah, definitely. The bottleneck for the cycle towards the latter half is absolutely so boring.
Right, yeah, so this is, this first part right here is basically always going to be the same, but what we didn't mention about Splatoon is that it has global cycles. So as soon as I enter a level, cycles are running throughout the entire level, from the point I enter to the point I finish.
Yeah, the pinwheel power plants will be turning, kind of like those wheels that you saw in 19 at the beginning of the run. Luckily got past that enemy section. Yeah, you can die pretty easily there if you don't make the jumps around the enemies or if you don't kill them. So good job.
Thank you. Alright, so yeah, I'm trying to hit this specific cycle. I call it moving cycle. That's the best one I can hit. But it's gonna be dependent on whether or not I get past these enemies without dying.
And he will pick up an Igzuka here, but the only reason he picks it up is because it's just in the way. It does nothing for the run. Or in this level. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I remember picking that up in any percent, and then whenever I was waiting on one of these cycles, I would just spam the Inkzuka.
Oh, really? That's
You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pull
pretty
you.
funny. Yeah, you can RFG actually specials as well. That also applies.
And this is the cycle I wanted to hit. This is what I call moving cycle. There you go.
Yeah, as long as you get this cycle, you're fine.
Yeah, it's mostly the end.
And I'm gonna
It's
be-
mostly the
I think
end.
this is the same cycle you get in any percent as well.
It is, yeah. And I'm gonna play it safe here. I could go to the right side here and climb up onto the left, but I'm gonna play it a little babyish.
It is unfortunately. This last section is what the oh wow, the Inkzuka shot to finish you off. The swag. The
Why
swag.
not?
You probably fire up. You could fire up the side there too. Oh, actually no. It's
I
the
could
left.
have. I could have tried.
Yeah, you can fire
There we
multiple
go.
Inkzuka shots in a row, as well as use that with like bomb rush stuff with the RFG. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I just did that Inkzuka shot to be a little disrespectful. Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind me.
Alright, this is another one of these Ink Strike levels. Don't worry, there's only one more of both of these types of levels. This one's the most annoying one because we have to grab a key as part of
It
it.
uses the same map that you saw in 14 Blackbelly Skate Park.
But yeah, you're gonna see more of it this time.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided to use the map twice.
Yeah, maybe they ran out of ideas.
They also use,
I would have used this map.
what was it? Bluefin Depot twice as well.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you're
I
right.
forgot. Yeah, in 20 as well as...
This is the next,
Wow, I
it's the
forgot.
last one that we do.
And when-
the last Ink Strike.
When this game came out, Bluefin Depot wasn't even a released map.
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh
true.
yeah, I forgot about that.
It was just unreleased, but they used it twice in the campaign.
Yeah, kind of a similar thing with when Splatoon 2 first came out and the Umbrella wasn't unlocked, or the Umbrella wasn't in the multiplayer, but you could play in the single player. So people kind of got their first opportunity to use the Umbrella in the Splatoon 2 Hero Mode campaign.
Yeah, and I really love that about Splatoon is that they, for the first few months, actually, I think for the first few, like, year or two, they continually update the game with new maps, weapons, modes sometimes, and it really keeps the game fresh, no pun intended.
Yeah, it's not, definitely intentional. So,
Yep.
oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I mean, this level's pretty generic. This is Gusher Gauntlets.
Seeing a lot of gushers.
I do want to point out that this part right here, where I'm going to be fighting some enemies, I have had a glitch here happen. It's a soft lock in this level where you have to restart the level. If you die and kill these enemies on the same frame that they die, like if you die and the last enemy dies, they will no longer spawn, and yeah, so I've had that happen before, and it's a really weird occurrence. I think I'm the only person who's had that happen.
That is true. I've never heard of that happening.
You'll notice Kingj.
Yeah, it's on that Glad Jonas video, so...
You'll notice Kingj
That's the
when he
Glad Jonas.
goes on top of these geysers, especially in the next levels, that it's faster to go on top of the gusher as you activate it. That means you don't have to climb it. This is the same kind of application of sponges, because think about it, if you're on top of a sponge, you don't have to climb it, and there's not that like lag frames when you're climbing, when a sponge like is expanding. Little tiny optimization that really adds up.
Alright, so this level is also pretty cycle heavy.
Global cycle.
This is a pretty easy cycle though.
I would say there's not really much to talk about, so we can kind of throw it over to donations for this level.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonderful. All right, we've got a donation from Tails Fox for $500. Love some Splatoon. Shout out to all my friends in the Splatoon community. Go Team Egg. Emo! And then we've got Captain Woomy for $25 who says, watching the Splatoon run while playing Turf War in Splatoon 2. Go Agent 3 and King J. Save the Zapfish, kill the Octolings. Woomy! And then we've...
You can do a few more, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got one from Starry Blue for $15 who said, had to donate for my wife and I's favorite series. Thank you for running this great game. Inkling Love. Can I get a Woomy train? Woomy! And then there is... And then we've got another one from Ketchup for $250 who says, so glad to see Splatoon being run at SGDQ this year. Good luck with the run and go Team Chicken.
Alright, so coming up here, this is a pretty cool skip where, again, just like before... never mind, I got knocked off.
Hate
But yeah, where the balloon is, I'm going to be trying to to jump on the small platform to get a little bit of a corner cut there, just like that.
Yeah, the region
First try.
The region under that
Yeah, first try.
The region under that balloon platform is actually swimmable. So if you hit the balloon and then jump onto it, you can clear that gap pretty easily.
Yeah, we did the same thing in Sponge Observatory, which I think was level 23.
Yeah, that was a bit less noticeable, but the same concept. Another really speaking of 23, Sponge Observatory, another heavy sponge stage. First bombs will use extensively in this stage. They save so much time.
Oh god, I missed it.
Oh, you find it a bit too early.
That's alright, you have unlimited ink.
It's true, yeah, you can spam burst bombs. It's brain dead.
Alright, so yeah, this level is very enemy dependent, honestly. Oh, what?
You want to delay shooting that sponge a bit so the octoball, because if the octoballs hit the sponge, will actually deflate it, and you will get knocked off. It's actually
Yeah, and you want them to pass by. These octoballs here, we spent so much time when this game, you know, when we're developing this game, we spent so much time trying to find a good setup to just jump over them so that they went past you and died. And then probably 6 months went by and we realized, wait a second, you can just kill them and it's faster. So we just wasted so much time trying to find this strategy that looked cooler, and it turns out it was actually slower.
So there's a strat here called Canonless. I don't do it. This one doesn't save as much as the later Canonless. Oh, whoops. Alright then.
Yeah,
Right.
Canonless is essentially you
close.
jump over these platforms and you throw a burst bomb on top of each sponge, and you skip having to use the intended cannon there to shoot the sponges. But like Kingj,
and you have to be really careful because all the enemies, if they shoot the sponge, it deflates it. And if you jump at the same time the sponge deflates, then you're kind of airborne, so it eats the jump and you just die.
yeah.
Alright, so I'm just gonna say right here, this level, if you've never seen a Splatoon speedrun, you're gonna question what happens here. I'm just gonna let this speak for itself and I'll explain it afterwards, but you do, just keep in mind, the way we end these levels is we grab the Zapfish after exploding the barrier, so just take a look at this.
This is the only major glitch in Splatoon. It's mostly a game about skill and routing. Pretty much.
Yeah, so right there you may have noticed that I didn't even touch the Zapfish, and the reason why is that there's an Octoling that shoots towards you, or is shooting towards me to try to attack me, and it goes right through the Zapfish, and it just works so perfectly that in the game's coding, we're playing as an Inkling, so Inklings and Octolings actually have the same value. So when an Octoling launches towards us and they hit the end of the level trigger, the game thinks it's us. So it's kind of like a wrong work in a way in that sort of fact.
Yeah, that was discovered by a Japanese runner. That was when the Japanese community first started interacting with the English community of this game. Tones might be able to explain more of that.
Yeah, this was back when we were still using Skype instead of Discord.
Oh, wow.
We all jumped in a Skype call and we all watched the first ever run that was submitted to speedrun.com by a Japanese runner named Beat. And we saw him do that glitch and we all just popped off. It was amazing.
Yeah, that trick alone, I think that's exactly what got me into running Splatoon. I saw that at AGDQ 2016 and I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no other Octolings that can accidentally trigger it like that, so that's the only time you get to see it in the run.
The way the Octoling super jumps, it's very specific. It actually does not work from the left side, it only works from the right side, so you cannot do that glitch in all scrolls, which would save a lot of time because...
It does actually work from the left side.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can do it in all scrolls, but it's extremely hard.
I've never... Yeah,
and I believe in 80% it's actually faster to go left side, but I'm not positive.
Really interesting. Yeah, I never get a little tidbit. I was trying to get it to work in all scrolls, but it's so hard.
Oh, and a good thing to mention, we mentioned before that the Ink Striker levels and the Octoling levels are based on multiplayer maps. That Octostriker level actually wasn't a multiplayer map. That's the tutorial stage that you start, that you play the first time you boot up the game.
Yeah, and from any
we don't get to see that.
category from a new file, you are forced to play the tutorial and go through about 2 minutes of scenes and a lot of mashing. Yeah, pretty cool fact. This stage has a lot of fans in it. You will notice some pretty precise movement of the fans. Oh, shot that a bit too early, but luckily recovered it. You can use a burst bomb to distract that guy, and the final section is coming up. Now, you need about 3 shots here to bring the fan down at the correct amount. Kingj gets it perfectly. It's way harder in NG Plus than 80%, by the way, because the fire rate is faster. Small skip here to go on this Spain. He'll have to extend it. You can just go to the wall, kill that guy. Another 3 shots.
That's pretty okay.
Nice. That was amazing.
Other than the fact that I couldn't climb up the block to save my life, that was good.
Yeah, dude, that block sucks.
There we go. That was a pretty good fan level. I will take that.
And the end section was beautiful.
All right, yeah. So coming up here, this is in my opinion, probably the worst boss fights. We get to hit a lot of the little belly buttons on this boss fight, Octonozzle, and then he'll have his tentacle spawn. There is a strat that I don't do where from the bottom, once the tentacle spawns, if you throw a splat bomb at the top, you can actually shoot it from the bottom of the boss fight, but I just go up and lose like 5 seconds. So I think this is a good time because, again, boss fights are pretty repetitive for more donations.
All right. We've got a donation from Splatmoss for $250, who simply says, "Woody!" And then we've got another one from Squid Kid for $20, who says, "I'm a kid. No, wait, I'm a squid. Wait, maybe I should be a kid. Actually, I like being a squid better." And then we've got another one from Jessica Cantaloupe for $30. It's a haiku. Agent 3 is here now. She's shooting ink everywhere. Defeat the Octos.
Nice. And just like that, the boss is done. Well, pretty much. Alright, so...
on to World 1.
About 40... Yeah, on to World 1. About 40 minutes into the run and we're doing the first level in the game. Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it works out like that.
It's just like running Majora's Mask.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, true. Alright, so World 1, the levels are basically just kill enemies to progress. That's basically what it is.
Yeah,
at least this first level.
Yeah, it's actually pretty absurd how many enemies you are required to kill to advance the level. Because it's kind of a building block stage. It kind of teaches you that you need to throw a bomb to make this guy turn around.
Yeah, right here there's a strat where you can use the splat bombs yet again. I'm bad at switching bombs, so I really just rock the burst bombs for the most part.
Yeah, you can throw 2 splat bombs there to instant the enemies. You don't have to actually shoot any of them. It's a really tiny New Game Plus exclusive strategy. I don't think Kingj is practicing that much.
Yeah, and switching bombs is actually like really difficult because think of it. He's using a Wii U gamepad,
yeah,
which is an extremely large controller, and the D-pad is underneath the movement button.
Yeah.
So you can't move forward while you are switching bombs unless you take your right hand and you move it all the way across the controller, which is what I do. But it's really hard to get used to that movement.
Exactly.
So it's completely understandable to just like be like, I don't want to use a Seeker right now, whatever.
Yeah, it's mainly why with RFG, that kind of controller specification you mentioned, you generally want to be staying still when you're doing RFG. Now in a task setting, you'd be doing RFG pretty much in every enemy because it saves time. But for RTA, we mostly use it on standstill enemies like boss tentacles, Octo Strikers, those save a bit of time, and then like Octavio Fists, we stand still, completely still when we do RFG for a good reason.
And that was the first level?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice.
I did it.
Okay, cool. So we're 40 minutes in, the run just started. Perfect. Sounds good. Alright, so this next level, this is Octocopters. This is, in any percent, would be a very, actually, it still is a very Seeker-heavy level. I'm gonna have Seekers equipped this entire time.
Seekers are the first level that you do use in any percent, and you use them pretty much use them a lot throughout the whole level, especially the ending where the entire floor is inked purple or magenta. I don't know what the shade of purple is.
I don't know, I'm colorblind.
Since the entire floor is inked, you'll be using a Seeker to traverse. Nice,
Yeah, it's
really
actually kind of
clean.
interesting to mention I'm actually colorblind, so sometimes when I have had runs end because of the fact that I can't tell what color is what, so I just assume that I'm standing in my color. Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
That's happened before.
I'm wondering what color combination is colorblind's like not accessible.
Oh, it's actually kind of interesting because they have a colorblind sensitive mode in the Splatoon games, but it really doesn't help much.
No, I don't think it affects the ink color in single player.
No, it doesn't. It's only in multiplayer.
Multiplayer locks it. It locks it to blue and orange.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll just do a multiplayer speedrun.
Yeah. And I turned on colorblind mode because it would be locked blue and orange, and I went to the University of Florida, and that was their school colors.
Oh, nice. Shout outs to the school.
Go Gages.
I've had a lot of people, like when Splatoon was on the GDQ schedule, I had a lot of questions saying, gee, wait, Splatoon has a story? What? I find that hilarious.
Yeah, Splatoon is definitely one of those IPs. I think the last big new IP that Nintendo had was Pikmin. That was roughly 20 years ago, and Splatoon was kind of a new thing that I didn't think it was going to take off, but it truly did, and it really carried the Wii U sales. It's in like the top 5 selling best games on Wii U, and that's kind of shown with Splatoon 2 as well. This stage...
Well, there's only 5 games on the Wii U, so...
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think Mario... Mario's on that, I think.
Yeah,
wait, Nintendo made Mario? What? I thought they just made Splatoon.
Mario, maybe a Zelda.
Wow.
Meme Run? I don't know if anyone knows.
Yeah.
They also made Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim?
They made Skyrim.
Yeah, Meme Run was a very cursed game for the Wii U.
What a great game. My Wii U actually is goes up a lot in value because you can't buy Meme Run anymore, and I have it on my Wii U.
Yeah, I don't know who got that on the eShop. So this trick he's gonna do is called Candleless, and it skips using a launch pad on the top right there to paint the wall. And say he's just gonna throw several burst bombs to go up the wall by himself. In NG Plus, I assume this saves a little bit more because of your gun. But you can just use burst bombs to climb the wall, and it's really effective.
Yeah, I love that there's a Candleless in this game because when I first started watching speedruns, I was of course watching Super Mario 64, and everyone complains about Candleless, and now we get our own Candleless to complain about because this trick sucks.
I just like how in the Splatoon Discord we literally have a voice chat that says Cannonless Reset Room or something like that.
Yep.
So.
The reason why he did not super jump from level 2 to boss 1 is he made his route there, so it's actually faster to jump from the level 2 platform to the boss 1 pedal. It's actually 1 second faster compared to super jumping, which is the sole exception that you'll see in this entire run. The time saves do kind of...
Yeah, so this is the first boss of the game. We ironically go from the first boss of the game to the last boss of the game.
Last phase gets a bit more complicated. It's going to be 3 rotating individual tiles instead of just a diagonal. And if you're too slow with getting up this wall, he will actually go back up. And he will rise back up, and you'll have to wait for him to stop down again. But
I did not deserve to make that cycle.
You shot his tentacle a little tiny bit, so it delayed his his get up.
Oh, I did not know that delayed him.
Yeah, it does not cause him to come up. All right, I think that's every level. We're going to be going to Octavio, the proper finale to this category. And
you may... Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, you may be looking at the timer being like, whoa, he's on world record pace, right? This is the final boss. This boss takes 8 minutes. So don't celebrate yet.
Yeah, I think in NG Plus it takes about a little above 7 half-ish.
Yeah, my goal is like 740, I think, and I don't do all the big strats. So.
The main difference of this boss compared to Splatoon 2 is that this boss is a lot longer, but there's also a lot of skips that you can do. You're not going to be seeing them in this first phase. The main reason for that is he only fires 1 fist out at a time, and we manipulate in the other phases the 2 fists coming out 1 at a time. And at the end of every phase, there is 5 phases. He's going to fire a bunch of fists, and then once he's pushed all the way to the back, he's going to say some dialogue, and he's going to fire 3 subwoofers, but you have to fire back at him to advance to the next phase.
Yeah, so this first part doesn't really have any skips. There are cycle skips in the later phases.
Yes, I will try to explain those later. You're going for some easier variants, which you did learn recently, I believe, right? Some of the cycle skips.
I did. And yeah, my most recent PB, which was, by the way, 5 hours before this run, I actually got all but one of them, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Okay, so the first set of fists coming up here is nice. Cycle skip. He's mostly just trying to optimize the time, so he's going to delay this a little bit and then fire the next fist. The reason he delays the first fist is so that the second fist is right in front of his face, and that speeds up the fist cycle a lot more. Now, coming up here, he has to. Well, I'll see if he gets it.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Okay, you shot that a bit too late. So because he didn't get that, Octavia will not be pushed all the way back. But luckily, the cycle skip in this phase that does not save as much time compared to other phases. If you get it here, it saves about 10 seconds. And you notice he's kinda clipped into the ramps. If he got the skip, he would be pushed all the way back there, and it would have saved that cycle of all of the attacks.
Yeah, this is the cycle skip that I'm definitely the worst at, so I wasn't really expecting to get this one.
That's fair. And NG Plus, this is definitely the hardest cycle skip.
Yeah.
Because in the later cycles, you can at least use an Inkzuka if you want to be ultra safe about getting the skip, or you can use the balloon in phase 4. But this one, you just have to rely on getting enough damage quickly.
So because this boss is so long, there will be moments of time where I'm really not doing anything but pushing him back. So I think we'll throw it over for at least 1 or 2 donations during the beginning half of this section.
All right. We've got Yo donating $25. He says, donating for one of my favorite games. Thank you for showing the original Splatoon some love. And then we've got another one from Yesoin for $50. Psyched for the Splatoon run. Digging the music and the movement. Thanks for sharing the love for the Squid Game.
Alright, so right here, the skip that I'm going to be going for...
it operates pretty much the same as a fist skip, if you can get it, which I'll explain.
There we go, got it, nice.
So what happened?
Oh wait, I didn't get it.
Ooh, that was a little bit too late.
I thought I had. I think he's still pushed back. No, he's not pushed back enough. All right, rip.
Dang, he's so close too.
He's really close. Maybe I can get lucky. I don't think so. Nah, he's big fists. So what I was trying to do there, if your last hit on the fist is with the balloon, it actually knocks him back and stutters him so that it'll actually skip him shooting out his second fist, and he waits a few seconds.
Also known as a
and then
fist skip.
that's yeah.
Now,
Really?
the main difference of this subwoofer compared to the other 2 phases is that now the subwoofer can go in one of either 3 directions, right, center, right, or left. And that's pretty much the only RNG in this fight, which is nice. It doesn't really lose you time if you get 3 rights or 3 lefts. It's pretty much all reaction based, which I heavily enjoy.
And this is another section where it's going to be basically the exact same as the last one, where it's just going to be us pushing him back until the balloon at the
Because
end.
Because we cannot get fist skips consistently in NG+, we are going to shoot both of the fists there to push him back a certain distance. A nice little manip strat there to get the 2 octaballs. As long as you don't die, all the enemies and octa-rockets that he shoots out is entirely consistent, and last way is pretty easy once you know the tricks and like the positions you can go. Ooh, I thought you were gonna miss that.
I thought so too, honestly.
Nah, he doesn't miss.
You don't miss.
Yeah, let's just not think about the times that I did miss in this run. Yeah.
This balloon, like you saw in phase 3, can lead to a fifth skip on the left one. Oh,
we're not gonna talk about that. Alright, we're not gonna talk about
unfortunately,
that.
what happened there, what KJ did there is Octavia was surrounded by this reflexive purple barrier, and if you bounce into the barrier, it has a bouncing property, and it will launch you all the way off of the stage. So unfortunately, he did play himself there. Congratulations, you played yourself.
That's my third time.
Yeah, that was comedy gold. Comedy gold.
That's my 3rd time playing myself this run. Let's go.
Yeah, so gonna be losing a decent chunk of time there because he did go through 2 sets of fists, but unfortunately it wasn't at the end. I died the end before. It's not very fun. There's only a small section of the sword that you can stand on, so you want to be towards the corner and not towards the edge here. It can be a bit risky. And because that's the last position Octavia thought you were in, all the Octorocks are going to shoot there. And, oh, that was a bit, yeah, that was a little bit too early. You waited a bit too much. So,
right,
yeah,
well,
if he would have gotten that, that would have been another fist skip, and he wouldn't have to go through another cycle of fists. All the skips optimally in this fight save about, I'd say, a minute.
Yeah, definitely a minute over just doing no strats at all.
Yeah, because...
So instead of saving a minute, we're losing a minute, so...
Yeah, glitchless Octavio, in my opinion, is pretty boring to watch because a lot of the time you're just kind of waiting. I enjoyed the skipser in this fight. It adds a nice layer to the skill ceiling, especially at the end of the run.
Alright, this part right here is probably the worst subwoofer to hit.
Yeah, the reason he's using the Inkzuka at the end of this phase is because even though it saves time to use it at the end of this phase, it saves more time to use it at the end of phase 5 because the subwoofers are really, really far away. And they actually move much, much faster. Well, the second and third ones move faster after the first. Clarification.
Alright, let's see if I can get a fist skip here by random chance. Nope. Alright.
Yeah, so if you actually get a fist skip on that first fist with your gun, it probably saves a couple of seconds because he's pushed back past this ink rail, and you do not have to do a slow burst bomb delay setup with this cycle skip, which you will be hopefully attempting.
I'll try for it. We'll see.
You can do it.
Yeah, and if he gets it, he'll be pushed back a significant degrees. I believe that was the...
I think I got it. I don't know.
Maybe. No.
That might work.
No, I think you're supposed to do the burst bomb delay in the second one, not the first one.
Oh, second. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's okay. This has been basically a glitchless Octavio, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, the skips to Octavia are definitely a big learning curve for anyone who runs this game, so don't feel bad about not getting the first
and
time.
especially like in an NG Plus, it's for some reason it's actually harder to do Octavio for NG Plus. The reason
slower.
being, yeah, it is a little bit slower as well, and the reason is when you upgrade your gun, for some reason I don't think it doesn't actually upgrade your DPS, or at least it doesn't, like, it's not 1-to-1. What ends up happening is you're firing your gun faster, but each bullet does less damage. So since each bullet does less damage, it just makes it harder to do stuff like fist delays, which is the strategy needed to push him back twice as far.
Also, I just want to point out that I only got one fist
Yeah,
there.
you got
I'm confused
the
why.
worst possible fist to get a fist skip on, but it did all the way to the back, so that was pretty cool.
And Speedy's Inkzuka there, and time is going to be when I grab the final Zapfish, so get ready.
This cutscene?
Yep. And... Oh, whoops. Time. There we go. And I don't know what time that is.
Yeah, actually,
I don't
no,
have the screen open. Looks like a 57. But yeah. That was Splatoon.
Very good run.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, honestly,
Not too bad for getting
with
glitchless
4
Octavia.
deaths. Yeah, with 4 deaths, and especially that big death on Octavio, that was going to be like a 56, so I will happily take that.
I'm going to give you a secret. Ain't no one cares about how much you die in a run. It just depends on how entertaining you were, and this was an incredibly entertaining run. I'm very glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Tones and Hydrus, for being my commentators and helping me out.
This is my first time commentating a really big bear fight. I was a bit nervous, but, you know, just let my silky smooth voice talk, and yeah, I think I did decent.
It was good.
And yeah, so thank you, GDQ, for having me. This is the second time ever, or the only time so far, that a Splatoon game has had a second showing. So I feel very honored to get to do this.
Yeah, thank you for showing up the
someone
game.
other than Tones.
Yeah, thank you for showing up the
someone
game.
other than Tones.
And I'm glad that someone else from the community can show their skills, because, you know, as far as most GDQ runners are concerned, it's like, oh, tonesbalones is the Splatoon guy, but there's so many amazing runners in the Splatoon community that deserve your support. And if you are willing to run Splatoon as well, there's plenty of resources to do that. We have a Discord, which is pretty much very active at the moment. I'm actually accepting like at least 10 runs a day, either from ILs or full game runs, and Splatoon 2's online community is pretty much dead at this point. So if you just want to speedrun it and get some more enjoyment out of the game, then go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I'm also actively working on a new any% 2020 updated guide. I've made a couple of videos to help you get into the game. You know, join the Discord, ask if you have any questions, and yeah, Splatoon's a great run. New Game Plus is the best category to get into if you are a beginner. Any percent can be a bit punishing.
Yeah, so thank you once again, GDQ, for having this game back and for having me, and enjoy the rest of SGDQ, guys. Stay safe.
All right, well, let's hear it again for our Splatoon crew. I've got a couple more donations to read. One from Mickey for $100. Love GDQ, longtime watcher, first time donator. Let this dono carry you through the night. And then another one from Boberto for $25. My day went from gloomy to woomy thanks to this amazing Splatoon speedrun. Thank you, King J, and thank you, GDQ, for putting on such an amazing event. All right, and now we've got a Twitch ad.
There is a world that exists beyond our own, hidden on the edge of shadows. To liberate this realm, we must become the warrior of darkness.
Summer Games 2020 Online is sponsored by Fangamer. Fangamer is a video game merch company who have a bunch of new SGDQ merchandise available now, including a face mask, event badges, limited edition pin, pullover hoodie, and more. 100% of the profits from those, from the GDQ merch sales support MSF's humanitarian mission. They also have a Stardew Valley Collector's Edition now available for pre-order. You can go and find all that merch at fangamer.com/GDQ. I know that's where I'll be headed after my hosting slot. And now, to hear about some more cool stuff, we're gonna head over to Scent with prizes.
Prizes. Did somebody say prizes? I am all about prizes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick Online 2020. My name is Sent, and as mentioned, I'm here to tell you all about some of the amazing prizes that you all can win by donating at some point tonight during the marathon. Let's take a look at some of these amazing prizes that we have here. Now, from our friend Calliopes, we have an absolutely beautiful set of Splatoon iron-on patches. Here we go. We got the one for each of the company, the fictional companies in the Splatoon universe. They look super great. I'm a big fan of these designs. I'm a big fan of the Splatoon design in general. It's got that like kind of neo vaporwave aesthetic to it. Looks great. Big fan of it. Oh man, we got the Squid Sisters here. Squid Sisters, definitely a favorite. I believe it's a $10 minimum donation for the whole set of them. So make sure to get those donations in. Let's talk about some other great stuff we have. From Chibi of Trance, we have this absolutely beautiful Boo tumbler here. Now, it's got Boo on it. It can hold your drinks. It can keep them warm. It can keep them cold. It can do, pretty much anything a container for liquid can do it. And it's pretty good. I really like the design. The Boo on the front is good. It comes with some dishwasher instructions too, just to be safe while you're... Stop that. You stop that. You stop that right now. It's a $5 minimum donation, so make sure to get the... No, seriously. So I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you down. You got to look at it. You got to look at it or it'll keep coming at you. Very important. Now, from our friends over at I Am 8-Bit, we have this wonderful book here. It is the official Game & Watch Collector's Guide. It's got information on all, I believe, 72 Game & Watch games from 1980 to 1991. For those of you who weren't alive during the Game & Watch days, really kind of the breakthrough of portable gaming in a sense. This was what Game Boys were before they were Game Boys. Just, single screen LEDs with a very simplistic game on them. But, a lot of us have very fond memories of them. I don't. I'm not quite that old. I mean, I'm old. I'm not quite that old. But this guide is super cool, full of really interesting facts and interesting tidbits about all these different games. It's, I believe, a $10 minimum donation. Again, so make sure to get those donations in. Now, we just saw an amazing Splatoon run. So how about an amazing Splatoon painting from our good friend Puzzle P? We have this beautiful Splatoon painting. Again, I love Puzzle P's style. She just does like something very reminiscent of the kind of doodles you'd put in your notebook in high school, but really does interesting things with them. And this one, obviously, the negative space making the Inkling in its squid form. Super cool. Love the colors. It's just great. It's great. It's a $15 minimum donation. How could you not want this? I want this, but again, I can't have it. Only you can have it, and only if you donate. But I saved one of my favorite pieces for last. Coming to us from Skater42, we have this absolutely amazing Mario cross-stitch of Mario jumping into a bottomless pit, but you know what? He got the one-up. It was worth it. Now, I know what you're saying, Sent. That's a really nice print you're holding there. No. This is a cross-stitch. This is like 1,000 individual stitches into this thing. It is incredible. The artistry is beautiful. It comes pre-framed, and guess what? It's only a $20 minimum donation. That's what I'm saying. It's not that much, and the money's going to a great cause, and it's super cool. You could hang this up in your living room. I'd hang it up in my living room, but I already have like a great lamp, and everyone seems to love that. So I think I'll just stick with the lamp. But you could have this amazing Mario cross-stitch. And huge shout-outs to Skater42 for making that happen. And of course, you cannot forget about our grand prize, a custom prop from our friends over at Heroic Replicas. Hold on a second. Let me just take this headset off. Boring conversation anyway. Go ahead and grab one to show off real quick here. Props like this amazing Hylian shield. With beautiful steel front. Now, there are a ton of different options you can get for this prop if you win the grand prize. There's this Hylian shield, there's a Master Sword, which is also available in a Dark Link variant, there's a Zora guitar that can also be a base, there's a Buster Sword, there's a Fierce Deity Sword. There are so many amazing options. It's a $200 minimum donation, but it's cumulative throughout the event. So hey, if you donate $20 right now, you'll be entered into everything I just talked about from now until the end of Bioshock Infinite is when you have to donate, by the way. $20, that'll get you to everything I talked about. That'll get you 10% of the way to winning the grand prize over here, being entered for a chance to win it. And you can head over to gamesdonequick.com and check out the tracker, because it's going to have all the information you need on upcoming speedruns, all the information you need on upcoming incentives you can put your donations towards. Because remember, you don't have to put your incentives towards prizes, right? You just got to donate the minimum amount, and you'll be entered to win. And of course, it's going to show you all of the amazing prizes you can win, as well as give you a little more information about them. I really recommend you go click on the grand prize, you go check out the album with all of the pictures of all the possibilities. There's some really cool stuff in there. Make sure to check it out. But for now, let's throw it back up to the front and get ready for our next run.
All right, and I've got a couple more donations to read. From Julia the Third, $25. Love how the GDQ community continues to come together to help make the world a better place. Especially in a time like this, it's a great reminder that we're not alone. Thank you to everyone for your help in making this event happen. All right, and it's just about time for our next run. A reminder that it is actually our next runner's birthday today. So can we get to 400K for his birthday during his run? And with that, let's head over to Zem running Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal.